Hi my Polygon primitives, it's your 3D girl AB, and in this video I'm going to go over how to do 2D animation in Blender. So whenever you open up a Blender file, you will see this in the center of your viewport. On your left side under New File, there's different types of files, and you can select 2D animation. Now if you happen to forget and clicked away, you can go up to File, New, 2D Animation, and then you will be in 2D animation. With my middle mouse, I'm going to zoom out so that I can see the full rectangle. Now, even though this is 2D animation, I am still technically working in a 3D space. So if I were to middle mouse and move, you can see the 3D space right here. And here is the camera that's facing where I will be doing my 2D animation. To go back to the camera, I can press this icon right here called Camera View, which is shaped like a camera, and it will go back. Or another way I can do it is just by pressing 0 on the numpad. Now, in this video, I'm going to be focused on certain tools on the left side and how to modify them. So right now, the draw tool is selected. With the draw tool selected, I can draw anywhere here. The next tool I'm going to show is the erase tool. So with the erase tool, I can of course press it and erase. Now, when it comes to the draw and the erase tool, you can actually choose different types of pen or pencil tools and different types of eraser tools. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z to undo this, and I'm going to go back to my draw tool. So right here, it says pencil. So I can click right here, and as you can see, there are different types of pens and pencils. So for example, I can choose marker and draw with the marker. Now, if you look on my right side, you will see right here that Active Tool and Workspace Settings is selected and it says Draw. Here, I can edit the color of my pen or pencil tool. But before I do that, I have to choose Color Attribute. So now I can go to another color, for example, blue. And now when I draw, it's blue. Now, if I want it to be a darker blue, I can go here, bring this down just a little bit, and when I draw with it, it's a darker blue. I'm going to undo this. And now I'm going to show the different types of eraser tools. So if I were to just draw any type of scribble, like this, I can now go to my eraser tool and click up here, and you will see there are different types of tools. So far, I have been using Eraser Soft. And with Eraser Soft, as you can see, it softly erases. Versus if I were to use, for example, Eraser Hard, it erases more cleanly. The next tool I'm going to show is the Cutter tool. Now, when using the Cutter tool, you will use it to remove any line that's outside of where you overlap. So for example, when drawing, I overlapped over here. So with the Cutter tool, I can circle around it right here, and then that part will be removed. Now I'm going to undo all of this to remove the brush strokes. Now the next tool I'm going to show you is the different line and shape tools. So here, this is line tool, and I can click anywhere here, like for example here, and then drag and let go, and I've made a straight line. You will see that there is a yellow dot on each end of the line. I can use these yellow dots to edit the line further. So for example, if I select this dot right here, I can bring it closer to make the line shorter, or bring it out to make it longer, and I can change in which direction the line is going to. When I am satisfied, I just have to press Enter. Here is Polyline. With Polyline, after I make one line, I can still continue the line after clicking. So for example, I can click here, drag, click, drag, and click anywhere, and continue the line. Once it's where I want it to be, I can just press Enter. Here is the arc. With the arc, I can click anywhere, drag, and make an arc. And then, of course, as with the other line tool, there is a yellow dot on each end that I can use to modify it. And then when I'm satisfied, just press Enter. Here's the curve tool. So with the curve tool, I can click anywhere, drag, let go, And with my new line, you will see that not only is there a yellow dot on each side, but there are also 2 blue dots in the middle. I can use these dots to make a curve. And when I'm satisfied, just press enter. Now here, you will see that there is a box tool. With the box, I click anywhere and I can drag, let go, and again, in each of 2 of the corners, there is a yellow dot, which I can use to modify. When I'm satisfied, I can press enter. I can also make a perfect square by holding on to shift, and when I drag, the square stays a perfect square with each side being equal. I can then let go and press enter. Here I have my circle tool. With the circle tool, I can drag anywhere, let go, and as you can see, those are the 2 yellow dots that I can use to modify the circle. When I'm satisfied, I just have to press enter. I can also make a perfect circle by holding on to shift, and while holding on to shift, dragging and then letting go. And then if I wanted to stay a perfect circle, to get rid of the 2 yellow dots, just press enter. Now I'm going to show how you can use different modes in 2D animation of Blender. So I'm going to go back to my draw tool and I'm going to make any scribble. Now if you look up here, it's in draw mode. I can go to a different mode. So for example, I can go to object mode. Now remember, technically I'm still working in a 3D space. So because I'm working in a 3D space, I can still treat this line that I just drew as an object. So for example, if I click on the move tool and I select the line that I just drew, I can move it. I can also still use the hotkey G to grab it. So I can select it, press G, and grab it and move it anywhere. I can also move in a certain axis. So for example, I can press G, then I can press X, and it will only move along the X. I can also press S to scale it. And I can also scale it in a certain axis. So I can press S and then X, and it will only scale in the X axis. Now I'm going to go to edit mode. In edit mode, I can affect the line that I drew. So if I zoom in, you will see an inner white line inside. So if you look up here next to edit mode, you will see that there's different modes for selection. So for example, this one is for only points. With points selected, if I zoom in and you pay attention to the white line inside the blue line, I can select any area here, and some points are selected out of all these points as if they are vertices. With those points selected, I can, for example, select move and just move just those points. I'm going to zoom out for you. I'm going to zoom out for there to be a better look. So I'm going to press Ctrl Z, select a different set of points, and just move them. I can also scale them, so I can press S and scale them. I can also go to the select mode for stroke. So with stroke, when I select it, the whole stroke is selected, and I can move it. So I can press G and move it. Of course, I can also move it at a certain axis. So I can press GX and move it on the X axis. I can press GZ, move it along the Z axis. Now I'm going to go back to draw mode. So those are some of the tools that you can use for 2D animation in Blender.